we are going to talk. First of all, I wanted to present everybody, and we start from Yuri Danilo because he will be talking for everybody about translingual neurostimulation technology. And Yuri Danilov, he is PhD and the former leading scientist in Paa Institute of Psychology in St. Petersburg, as well as the former senior scientist in neuroscience, director of tactile communication and neuromodulation laboratory in Madison, United States. He's retired now, but while he's retired, he's one of the leading discoverers and developers of translingual neurostimulation technology, as well as he is a director of Realin Medical Clinics. Me, I'm Svetlana Sereny. I'm mom of Mark Sereny, president of Mark Association, and as well, Mark is using POMS, which is translingual neurostimulation from 2018. And Kimberly, she's mom of the boy with cerebral palsy, who participated already in 2 clinical trials, one in Duke University and one in Samara. And she from New York, she's from New York, so she maybe has a lot of questions for Yuri about the technology, which is not very well known for the cerebral palsy world in the United States. But we will give first the word for Yuri Danilov about the technology. Thank you.
Kimberly, you can ask questions. I will glad to answer to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you want me to start with the questions or?
Yeah. Look,
okay.
When I give lectures about this technology, I have about 20 hours of presentation. Okay. So that's why we have a quite limited period of time. So that's why better I will ask your questions first.
Okay. All right. So I have some, general understanding of the PONS device. I've read about it and watched the documentary that was made a few years ago that was aired in the United States on public television.
Yeah.
So, I have that some basic understanding. So
okay.
Forgive me if some of my questions.
What's your background, by the way?
My background is I have a master's degree in library and information science, and I'm currently working as a data analyst. And then I've also, for 20 years, been a massage therapist and certified rolfer, which is a specialized type of massage therapy that focuses on connective tissue. So, I came to being a parent of a kid with cerebral palsy with more than an average amount of knowledge about anatomy and physiology. So,
how old is your kid?
He's 9.
Okay.
And he has right-sided hemiplegia.
Okay.
So my first question is probably, like an easy one. Tell me about, especially for the pediatric population, have there been any adverse events when kiddos use this? Yeah, no. I figured it would be a soft, an easy question. And is there anybody or any subgroups within the cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, diagnosis group that should not use translingual neurostimulation?
Well, that's usually dilemma of your expectations and the hard work.
Okay. Could you say more about that?
Okay. You know the GMFS system classification, right?
Yes.
Up to 5, up to wheelchair, you can see noticeable results in a reasonable time. With kids in a wheelchair, GMFS 5, it's in the hard work. It took about 2 or 3 times more work and efforts to get improvement. The GMFS 1 or 2, we even not included in our study in Russia because it's too easy.
Okay.
Okay. And the basically what's how to explain it more. or more simple. It's if you look again, if you know the cerebral palsy situation, in not only cerebral palsy, in many other disorders, everybody know that the problem happened during delivery or pre-delivery time because infection, trauma, or something like that. So the cause of the problem is the brain, okay? That eventually during development become physical. It's a joint mobility, spasticity, and many other things, cognitive impairment. And if you look, and I look recently in a review about cerebral palsy treatment, after 2068 new treatment was suggested for cerebral palsy, 20% was damaging, 80% didn't work, only 8 out of 68 was accepted with some effect, but it's mainly, you know, baclofen pumps or something like that. And everything was focused on spasticity, okay? And nothing else. According to international definition, cerebral palsy create handicapped state not only because physical manifestation, it's a mobility, it's a communication, and many other things, and nobody care about 3 of others, okay? Everybody focus on spasticity, even you know that the problem is a brain, okay? And that was our starting point when we start to apply it with cerebral palsy, because roughly we're fixing brain. And any other method, physical therapy, locomats, different kind of robots, trying to fix the body, we're trying to fix the brain. And that's why when you combine the brain stimulation with physical exercise, then you get effect, okay? And this effect, let's say my original domain, it's a balance, posture, and gait. And according to balance measurement, so just adding 20 minutes stimulation a day improve efficiency of balance training twice. Okay. It's the first what we noticed. Second, that nobody else can show that what we're doing with stimulation, staying with the kid. Because in Russia, they have a 2 weeks paid insurance paid for the treatment, and next visit in a half a year or in a year. Usually after 2 weeks of intensive physical therapy, classical physical therapy, everything going to the same level in 3 months, 2-3 months, and kid becomes the same. The next year coming with the same condition. So it's continuous, but not improving in general. So if you add stimulation, even 1 year later, you have the same level as you left. And the next time you can improve it even more. So that's cumulative effect. That's another interesting discovery what we found in cerebral palsy. So, and as well, if you're working only with mobility and balance, we see improvement on the cognitive functions, on the spasticity drop, even GMFS level change. In the textbook, it's impossible, but it's really, in reality, it's happened. Okay, more than 1 unit. So that's what the study on 200 kids in St. Petersburg. So that's a reason.
This study in St. Petersburg, I will put in a reference of our Zoom. So people, if they want to read the study,
but look, Russian journals, nobody reading the Russian journals. So that's another problem.
Yes,
especially in the United States.
Yes.
The problem in the United States, the only company who manufacturing these devices in the United States, Helios Medical Technologies, not even intend to work in the cerebral palsy direction. So they focus on the stroke, MS, and trauma right now.
Right.
And each new application need I don't know, a few $100 million in several years to do multi-site clinical trials. So
Yes.
In my eyes, it's dead end. I talk about cerebral palsy in the United States about 10 years ago. I travel across universities, give lectures, show the results, preliminary results that we did in the outside of US. And of course, clinics were fantastically enthusiastic, but Helios said no. So that's a problem with the United States. So right now, with cerebral palsy, people work in Poland, in Australia, in Russia, and Uzbekistan, but not in US and Canada, of course.
Yeah, I mean, even as an American, I'm not surprised by that. We've traveled and
It's
done.
the reality.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But what I want to tell you that again, to get results you want, okay, that's a question. Because let's say if kid cannot sit, we train him to sit in 2 weeks. If he cannot stand, we put him in the stand. If didn't walk, we make it walk. To move from the sitting stage to walking, relatively free walking, it took several years.
Sure.
But of course, because it was insurance limited trial, so I don't know what's happened if I will work with kid not 2 weeks by 4 weeks, or if I will repeat the training every quarter, or if it will be continuous training at home. I have no statistics.
Right. What is in your, I know you have no statistics, but if you were designing an ideal program of application, what is your best guess as to what would, what framework would lead to the most, functional improvements?
Honestly, I don't know, because you never know until you try.
True.
Okay. But my impression about, I have more than 3,000 patients with many different disorders. In my specialty, it's brain trauma, stroke, MS, Parkinson. Okay. And of course, I had to work with spinocerebellar ataxia, cerebral palsy, speech disorders, asphyxia, and many other cases. But again, because it's practically parents coming with a kid to ask to help, so you had to help. You have to improvise. Okay. And there are several factors here. For example, if you want to work with body, it's one set of program. If it's a speech, it's another set of exercise. If it's a cognitive impairment, it's another set of exercise. And it depends from logistic, opportunity at home, what equipment you have, what time you can devote to work with a kid. Okay. As soon as we developed this in university, my goal was to get maximum effect for minimum time. So an if patient coming to my lab, we're working all day. Okay, with some breaks in interleaving different kind of exercise, and depend from the durability, because 85 years old woman and 20 years old athletes, they have a different durability. Okay, it's a different intensity, it's all kind of things, and that's why it's very hard to make one full recipe. It's have to be adjusted and customized for particular kid in particular environment with particular opportunities for kids or caretakers to work with him.
So really, I mean, I think that's a good point to make to, to parents who are considering this, is that any program, theoretically parents, especially outside of an intensive format at a clinic, who are using this, going to use this at home and or at home with their various therapists, that it's all going to be very customized based on their child.
I can give you the extremes. So once I had a woman from Chicago who had untreatable migraine for 7 years on scale from 1 to 10. And he came to me as an MS patient. I said in the first minute, say, I don't care about my balance. Can you fix my headache? So we did it 13, 15 sessions, 20-minute sessions a day with her. And we dropped her headache in 1 week to 1. Okay. I never see more happiest patient. I have a colleague of mine who working with tongue stimulation in California, and he gave me example another patient who came to me once a week. Okay, and still get it, a severe dementia patient. He get results, but in a few months.
I see.
Okay. So that's in terms of adult, I didn't test it on a pediatric, but in terms of adults, there is no limits of number of stimulation.
Okay.
It's only question is that have to be combined with the same exercise, at least with 2 hours break.
Okay.
What it's mean? That's what, let's say, MS patient coming to me, I do 20 minutes balance exercise, and I do 20 minutes gait exercise, then I do 20 minutes cognitive exercise. It's 1 hour continuous stimulation, then 2 hours break, and repeat again. Okay, so it's 6 stimulations a day, plus he have a device go home and doing the relaxation sessions twice a day.
Okay.
Okay.
In clinic, honestly, it's possible to make for the child, as my child use phones. I see, for example, for Mark, it's possible in clinic, we can do it 4 times, but at home, generally 2 times per day. It's not possible more, or otherwise child, it will explode at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Plus and minus our technology, it's easy, can be customized for particular patient and particular environment. Okay. And again, it's depend what's focused on the patient motivation and condition. If he have a flu, but let's skip it if he cannot do it and have a high temperature. So that's okay. So it's not necessary. It's quite flexible. If you feel that the kid is overexhausted with exercise, some parents are crazy. Okay, so they can push a kid over the limit, and then he need a break for a couple of days, or become hating this procedures or something like that. So it's again, it's not a question of technology; it's a question of caretaker.
Right. That leads me to another one of my other questions is, you know, I can speak for my own kid. I think Mark I think is a pretty tolerant of trying new things. My child is less open to trying new things. So, you know, when you've had kids, especially children who maybe don't understand, my child has for sure the cerebral palsy has impacted his communication and his cognition. So when you have kids that don't have as much cognitive function, how have you seen it work to get them to cooperate or be open to it?
Look, it's again, it's quite difficult question. So if it's 2, 3, 4 years old kid, parents just physically keep the device in the mouth,
right?
Keeping him on the knees. If it's a toddlers, well, you have to find situation when they're interested. They can watch cartoons, or they interested play the games. Just make them do what they like to do, and put the device in the mouth. Some parents put a jam on the top of the device, that piece of. I don't know.
I can see that working for my kids.
You see, that's it's not healthy, but I don't know, honestly.
Sure. Well, I think, you know, like if that makes them like it or have a positive association and they're more willing, then
use it.
Yeah, so the one of the question that you don't ask, but definitely you keep it in mind, how to adjust intensity of stimulation.
Yes.
Okay. For small kids, it's easy. So you slowly increment step by step intensity until you see the facial expression change. So then you go down for the couple steps. Okay. Because if it's just over threshold before the, well, for adult, it's especially for males, instruction is very simple. Go to the pain and couple step back. Okay. For kids and women, it's not working because they're saying it's painful when they barely feel it. but it's not actually painful. It's just unusual, and they're afraid or something, put electricity through the tongue. So, but after, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, you understand that it's sensation like Pop Rocks ice cream. Okay.
And he used to it after some time of using, even
yeah. So if it's not very intense, if it might become even pleasant.
No problem.
Just in the beginning, just don't go over this stage.
That makes sense.
He's more worried that he can't make jokes during.
Yeah,
make jokes, Mark.
And another things that again, physiologically, it's very simple. When you stimulate the tongue, you stimulate the same nerve that's responsible for salivation. That's why in the beginning, the people drooling. Okay, so it's absolutely normal. It's just saying that your nerve is healthy. Okay, so doing, and then in a few days it's balanced. You don't see it anymore. But in the beginning you can see it, so don't be surprised.
Okay.
Then another small notice, not in the textbooks. It's well, usually what I explain to students during the lecture. So if you like Mexican food and you have a hot pepper, so you know reaction if you bite something extremely hot. Okay. You see the tears and everything, red face, sweating, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Yeah, the second example, so if you're tired and you don't have any coffee or tea around, if you want to wake up, you go and put cold water on your face, right?
Yes.
We are in between of this. It's the same reaction of the same nerve, but one case it's overstimulation in terms of hot food. It's overstimulation of trigeminal nerve. And the cold water, it's a waking up effect. It's mean that right now we know that stimulation of trigeminal nerve increases blood circulation in your cortex. So it's help you wake up and keep attention, even if you're tired. So what you're doing with tongue stimulation is somewhere in between. Okay.
Okay, that's a good way to think about it. So I know that I know you already said like no adverse effects for kids, but I know this specific question will get asked in the CP.
Well, look,
is related to seizure activity. You know, because seizures are so common with kids with CP. Are there any additional concerns? No. Okay.
Okay, I can give you another half an hour explanation. So what we did, so we tested it in kids with epileptic epiactivity and didn't find any evidence that our stimulation improve or facilitate the epiactivity first.
Okay.
We have several occasions when we see that suppress epiactivity. And I spent 3 days in Marseille, in France, talking with most prominent epileptic professor of epilepsy in France, in his lab, and we come out with conclusion that our stimulation can prevent epileptic seizure, can stop seizures, can help to recover after seizures.
Oh, that's great.
But so far, no one in the world risked to test it in a clinical trial, because It's paradigm of medical world, no stimulation for epileptic patient.
Right.
Okay. In my case, in my opinion, it's wrong, but nevertheless.
Well, and that's, I mean, you find that same debate with neurofeedback, that there are people who say like, oh, it tremendously can help. And then other people say like, no way, absolutely not. So, yeah.
Okay.
And then, sorry.
Wait a sec. So the only, but what you can call adverse effect. So if you put device in your mouth and be macho style behavior, you try to find where's the limit of your pain threshold. You easily, without training, you easily can overshoot the threshold. So your whole sensory system become overexcited. I saw it twice, but again, if your behavior, it's a macho style. Okay, if you're careful, you will not see that. Another, if you can consider adverse effect, it's if you have a damage of epithelium on the tongue. If you scratch or bite your tongue, you have an open epidermis, so you can see sharp pain because of electricity. Rare, quite rare, it's happened. About 2 women out of 100 have extremely sensitive tongue. Extremely sensitive tongue. So the scale right now on the device from 0 to 64, and they're claiming pain on the second step. So you don't, okay. It's happened twice, nothing you can do about it, it's nature.
Right.
Then if you do 20 minutes normal stimulation, especially first time or second time, you remove device, you continue to feel something buzzing on your tongue. It's go away in a couple of days, and you get used to it.
Okay.
So it's not actual adverse effect. It's some strange sensation. Once or twice I met situation, but it's specifically for elderly women. So because one of the effect of tongue stimulation, it's muscular relaxation. And after 10 minutes, you even can see how the muscles of the body start to relax.
Is that just vagal tone?
Oh, no, boy. Vagal tone have nothing to do with muscular tone.
Oh, true. Right. Okay. Sorry, brain.
Okay. No, it's a muscular relaxation. So because generally we affect in whole movement control system. Well, I need to give you another lecture, explain what's happening, but we don't have a time for that.
No, we have the last 9 minutes only for Zoom, so most important.
Okay, so the muscular relaxation, males and female going in a different way. Males have a very strong back muscle, so that's why if they're relaxing, you see how they're bending back. In female, the frontal muscles are stronger, so that's why they're relaxing. When they're relaxing, the like moving their chest down, collapsing the lungs, lessen the oxygen, and start the headache. It's only situated when a solution just straight up and open your chest, so that it start to breathe more freely. So that's what I observed.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't remember anything else.
And in pediatric, did you find something during the study for the cerebral palsy? Because the parents will be more interesting in pediatric.
Look, several hundred kids, I didn't hear any adverse effects from them.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that it not exist, but so far we didn't met.
And especially when it's used in a good way, especially when it's used by the therapist in a good way.
If you will find one, let me know.
But no, in any case, my child had no adverse effects for
We
sure.
have a little time left.
Yes.
So Kimberly,
Kimberly, last question.
The other question related to that is, since any program would be customized for the kid, how often, and I know this may vary wildly, and you can tell me that, is the answer, how often, typically for kids, since they're growing and changing much more quickly than adults often do in therapy, are you, is someone, the therapist, the parent, whoever, assessing how to adapt their program, whatever you decide, like Svetlana, Mark does twice a day, how often, should...
It's not a question number of stimulation, it's a question of challenging of exercise.
Okay, to think about it that way, to up
Yes.
to increase the challenge of the exercise appropriately.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else.
Patient shouldn't sleep. Patient should work.
No, he should work. And
Yes.
you work what you need for your child.
If it's a sleep and no challenging, no effect.
No.
Right.
No pain, no gain.
No.
I really think that you covered everything that I had in my list. Svetlana, can you think of anything else that...
I think that if, in any case, I think we will post this Zoom for other parents, and if parents have more questions, I will ask them to write. And if we need, we can also ask Danilov beforehand to sending him questions of the parents and make them maybe...
We'll recommend them to read the book of Norman Deutsch, second book, chapter 7.
Absolutely.
That's how I originally learned about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can see on the internet a bunch of lectures in English and Russian, whatever. Okay.
Thank you very much, Yuri.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
Questions from other parents, we will come to you, and as well as Evgeny, and we will ask them for others, and we'll make best explanation for that.
Look, I try to do my best to help you because, look, for me, it's quite a grief to know that I can help, but actually cannot help. Okay. And somebody else, look, when we developed this technology, we thought that we just put a big star on Wisconsin University with such technology. But right now it's disappeared. Nobody knowing about it, nobody hearing about it. We created 2 companies and they always died. And the one was a brain port. It's specifically for vestibular patients. And then we made the Gilius for universal use. But so now we create something in Uzbekistan. Maybe then it will work.
We
and
will
now,
hope that for parents who will be enough clearly understanding this, it will work, because the parents, they are ready to do a lot of things for this.
we have a very good
we
development.
will try to explain them, and I hope Kimberly will help me to explain them as well, as I know Kimberly, and we can work together.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Kimberly. Thank you very much, Yuri.
You're welcome.
For the next time. See you.
Take care. Thank
See ya.
you. Bye.